So from this, we draw what we call a retail trade area. Usually at its most conservative value that we can possibly get it to, because the last thing we want to do is inflate it. So if anything, it's probably smaller than it should be. It's not that these people don't drive to shop in McKenzie, but the ones that do it the most, usually 80 to 90% of their shopping is done here. This is where they're coming from. And they don't necessarily just have to be coming here to shop. What I found is in my hometown of Pontotoc, Mississippi, it's a town of roughly, I think, 6,500 people. And any given time throughout the day or throughout the week, you're going to see nearly 100,000 people flow through that community and spend dollars. It's not that they're making it their retail destination, but they all work there, and they're all grabbing groceries on their way home, and they're all stopping by, McDonald's for lunch, and they're all driving through Wendy's for a bite after work. So that is important, and throughout the jobs that we have there, we're seeing those dollars come back through these people being there for work, but spending money while they're either on their way home or on their lunch break, that sort of thing. So when we look at McKenzie at like roughly 5,500 people, which goes up a little bit, about 1,000 people during the day. Check out the retail trade area population. So from that red area, here's how many people we have, nearly 37,000 people. Those are potential customers for a business in McKenzie. So what we're able to do is say, all right, let's learn about these 36,000 people and be able to provide them the sort of goods and services that they need, that they want, because they're getting them one way or the other. One thing I have learned in this business is the only thing that remains constant no matter what is people are going to buy what they want to buy. The only thing that we can potentially change is where they buy it. And it's no secret that online has become such a big animal, but at the same time, it's the convenience factor. They want those products and services. If they can't get them here, they will get them. Hopefully they'll get them at a brick and mortar, but if they want those brand new Reebok shoes, they're going to get those brand new Reebok shoes. It's just what people do, especially since the economy is doing so well. The only thing we can potentially change is getting those businesses here in town to carry these products that they are looking to purchase. And not necessarily in the quantities that an online store would have to carry them, but just have some sort of accessibility to these products so that they're not having to go online or they're not having to go to Jackson to get them. So when we look at everything, on a more broad spectrum, we start with income just because we are of the adage that if you're making more money, you're probably spending more money. And I don't know if that is 100% true for everyone, but I know it's true for me. And most of the people that I have talked to about this, usually anytime they've gotten more money, they've usually spent more money. That's just how the world works. So we start off with incomes because we want to know how much money do they have to spend. What is the big pool of money that could potentially go to retail? We found that over 60% making less than $50,000 a year. But when you look at that, it's really interesting where that income lies. Most of the disposable income is between the ages of 45 and 54. And it's not that there's not disposable income in other age groups, but the most disposable income is between these age groups. However, you have more shoppers between the ages of 55 and 64. So when we break it out into income sectors and look at who's making what, you actually have more disposable income between this age group, but you have more pool of shoppers in this age group, which I thought was interesting. Usually, the last time we did one of these, it was, bar none, it was exactly 24 to, I forget what the age group, 35 I think was the age group, and they dominated all of that. So they had the most income, the most amount of shoppers, they were just heavily dominated, but y'all are a little bit more spread out between 45 and 64. That is where most of the disposable income. So generally speaking, if you have disposable income, you're probably shopping at a boutique and you're probably buying a shirt that you don't necessarily need but you really want. 58% of this, though, is spent on retail trade. These are the NAICS codes here, 44, 45, and 722. 44 and 45 are generally, what we consider normal retail, and 722 is eating places. So that's more your restaurants, bars, things like that.